Hey everyone, welcome back to the Imperfect podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me, Miss Chloe Romm.
Hello, we're speaking in an orb today.
Yeah, my microphone is, it's called a blue snowball, and it just looks like a giant orb. And
well,
it's
this
great.
one is black, it's not blue, just so you guys know.
Yeah, it doesn't glow. I wish it did. It has this cute little red light on it though, so it's orb enough. I love it.
Orb. We're going to be giving you some great knowledge today, guys, so get excited.
Yeah, so Chloe and I are talking about our experience with bullying, self-love, and all the fun stuff that I feel like people in this society need a little boost with. So,
well, no boost with bullying, but you know.
Right. I mean,
don't
like,
bully people, Gabby.
That's not what I mean. I mean, like, people should know that they aren't the only ones experiencing it, and how we got out of that situation.
Yes, sir.
So, to start us off, I want to ask you what your experience with bullying is.
So I came out in middle school in 6th grade, and a lot of people bullied me for that, and it was a very upsetting time in my life. I had depression really, really bad. And I do experience a lot with mental health. I know you did an episode on mental health, which was really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna, like, completely go into that. Yeah. But I came out, and a lot of people didn't like that, and so they decided to bully me. They decided to call me the F slur. They decided to text me and cyberbully me a lot. I got punched a few times. And a lot of people just decided, like, it was terrible, and that's part of the reason why I moved schools for high school. But even in my high school, I've been treated badly because I'm gay, and one time I was at track practice, and I was, running around the field doing my laps, whatever, and there were lacrosse practice going on at the same time. And a couple of lacrosse boys decided to harass me and call me the F slur and try to, like, make me feel bad. But, part of loving yourself and part of, like, knowing how to deal with awful people, because you're always going to encounter awful people. I'm sorry, that's just the bad part. You have to be able to, like, come back at them. Like, don't, like, fight them or anything, but, like, you have to be able to be, like, you have to know your situation and know if you're able to, say anything funny in that situation. Like, to the boys, I said, oh, you're just mad because I get more girls than you, something like that.
That's awesome.
And yeah, even in middle school coming out, I was outed by my guidance counselor, which really sucks. It was terrible. It was a terrible moment in my life. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, like, when I was bullied mainly in, like, middle school, and I was bullied for my birthmark, and, I feel like people tend, like, in our experience at least, people have tended to pick on something that we couldn't change.
Yeah.
And that, to me, like, I don't understand why people feel the need to do that,
Yeah, it makes no sense to me either, but we're always gonna encounter, terrible people, and you can do as much as you can to change them, but in reality, they aren't going to change, and it's their own insecurities that make them want to make you insecure, so you don't let them make you insecure. Like, I know that's really hard for me to say, but it took me years to, build myself back up after that. And, today we can talk about that.
Yeah. So, I want to ask, how did you get away from that bullying situation?
Well, the one in my middle school, it was really hard to get away from. I didn't get away from it until high school, where I applied for a magnet program, and I got in, and I was really, really excited to go, and that's how I got away from my middle school and those people in my middle school. But, even in high school, I encounter people who are mean and bully and, things like that. But to get away from them, just don't associate with people who aren't making you happy. If you realize you're around people that aren't making you happy, it's better to have no friends than be around people who are really bad for your mental.
Right. So, like, if you are around people like that, make sure you're not stooping down to their level, because I feel like that's a huge thing. Is like if someone starts to pick on you, your reaction to that is to pick on them too, and that's what they want. They want a reaction out of you. So if you are, faced with something like that, just try your hardest to walk away. And I know it's hard because you want to fight back, but sometimes walking away and letting it go is the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, and to go on with that, sometimes I know people have things spread around them, rumors and everything, and if the rumors are even true about you, you can be like, yeah, that's me, and, like, if you own it, people won't even, like, care. They'll be like, oh, okay, whatever, and then they'll move on, because they want a bad reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, like, a negative rumor, like, it's not true about you, you just, like, tell people, like, hey, that's not me, and, like, move on. Don't give them this big reaction. I know you want to, but you can't.
Yeah. So how did your bullying experience impact you as a person?
It made me a very insecure person, to be honest, and it made me have a lot of issues with, loving myself and loving these facts about me that people pick on, like me being gay. Like, it's taken me so long to accept me being gay, and I actually had a mental breakdown the other day about it, and, like, how I was wishing it away, and how I wished I was straight and everything. And my dad, he was telling me, he was like, why would you do that? Why would you wish away a part of you that is so great and so loving?
Exactly. I feel like I'm a firm believer in, like, everything happens for a reason. And I feel like the little things that make up who we are, like the episode that you guys will hear that with me and Rachel, we talked about, like, puzzle pieces and how life is like a giant puzzle. There's always a bigger picture. And, you might be in one little piece right now, but eventually you're going to see the big picture. And I know that, like, in that moment, something might not make any sense to you, but you're going to get an answer. And I feel like if you wish away something that, like, there's a reason that you have that. So I feel like you shouldn't wish it away, because it's a beautiful thing and it makes you who you are.
Yeah, even if people tell you it's terrible and tell you this, it's not. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're great. And it makes you, again, who you are.
Yeah. So how has your experience with coming out, and how was that experience?
My experience, so a lot of people get outed, and it's terrible. I got outed by by an adult in my life that should have been there for me and should have stuck by me and kept that secret and understood what it was like. But he didn't. And he told my parents, which was terrible. And my parents, thank goodness, were accepting, but other parents aren't accepting. And it's very sad. It's very sad to see kids get kicked out of their house, kids, deal with this toxic situation with that. And I've dated a lot of people that haven't been out to their parents, and it sucks dating them. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
But it sucks dating someone who isn't out because they want to give you all this love. They want to be there for you, but they can't because the people in their life can't support them, and it's terrible. And you just want to be introduced as someone's girlfriend, and you just want that, but you don't get it, and it's awful. And girls will, say they're all in for a relationship, but then their parents will at last minute be like, no, like, I don't want you dating anyone. It's like, I don't want you having a girlfriend, and they'll, like, freak out. And it sucks that I'm a nice person. Like, I will love your daughter so much. Like, I don't think anyone understands that, and it's terrible that someone thinks that just because I'm a girl dating their daughter that I'm terrible for them. Also, coming out sucks, especially when you're coming out socially to other people and, to your friends and stuff, because kids can be ruthless, like we said before with bullying. Kids can be terrible. I keep saying terrible, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm,
it's
like,
fine.
so repetitive.
Yeah, no.
So coming out socially is a little bit easier than coming out to family members, because you don't have to be with those people all the time. And a lot of your friends are normally very accepting, but a lot of people...
Especially, like, in this day and age, I feel like it's definitely something that's more prevalent.
Exactly. And a lot of kids, when they don't accept you, it's probably because their parents aren't accepting of the community, or they themselves are insecure about their own identities, and that's why they make fun of you. And I'm not saying that it's right for them to do that, but there's always a bigger picture, like we were talking about before, and you have to be able to see both sides, but it's it's still awful, and it sucks that it's something that you have to go through. And coming out is so, even coming out in a small area, I guess, like where we live, it kind of sucks because there's not a lot of other gay people around. There's not anyone else I can talk to and, you know, hear about their struggles, and because most of the other gay people I end up dating, so and the dating pool is so small, and I mean, I get jealous of a lot of my straight friends because they have the opportunity to, but some of them just don't take it to, like, go out and date people, you know what I mean? But the opportunities are so slim, and I feel like a lot of the time, since those opportunities are so slim, we get into this, like, toxic, I don't know, I guess switching around of each other. It's terrible, but, like, everyone's dated everyone, and it's, in my opinion, it's awful. Since we have such a small dating pool, you only have so many options, and sometimes you can find yourself in an abusive relationship with someone that treats you so terribly, but, you know, they're the only other gay person around, and you want a relationship, you want to experience, you know, being with someone when you're young, and you want that, but you can't really have it.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, if you have a friend who's going through, you know, that whole coming out situation, and their parents aren't as accepting, please have an open mind, an open heart, and an open house, because, you know, sometimes that might be all they need, because if they know that at least one person supports them, it might be enough for them to keep going. So please, even if you don't understand, you don't need to, because it's not your life, but I feel like if you are near someone who is experiencing that, be a friend, because I feel like that is so important.
It's, coming out is really, really hard, and I'm thinking about putting myself in my shoes of when I was younger and coming out, whenever someone else comes out to me. And also, I just want to say, I'm going to come real close to the camera right here, someone else's sexuality is not drama. It is not, like, it's not tea, it's not anything, okay? Like, you cannot share, if someone tells you something about someone else coming out, that would be outing them if you share it to someone else. Everyone repeat back to me, that would be outing someone if you say it to someone else, okay? So
yeah, that kind of announcement is a huge deal for someone. So don't take that away from them. It's like getting into college, you know? It's like the kind of thing that you don't... I mean, it's...
Gay university.
Oh my gosh. No, I just mean, like, if you're accepted into your dream college, if someone steals that thunder, you know how, like, upsetting that would be? Like, granted, that they're not the same situation, but you know what I mean.
Also, if, you know someone who's coming out as trans, please be respectful of their pronouns. Like, really, ask someone their pronouns. If you meet someone new and you don't know their pronouns, use they, them until you ask. People really don't care until you just ask. Just ask politely. Like, be like, hey, I don't know what your pronouns are. That's all you have to say.
And even if you feel like it sounds a little silly, trust me, like, it makes a huge difference.
It really does.
Like, I remember the first time I was asked about my pronouns, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of nice. I was like, thanks. Like, I didn't think anything of it, but yeah, it was a great thing. So yeah, please be aware of things like that, because it matters to some people more than others, which is fine, but I feel like if you ask everyone, then you're being safe. You know what I mean?
Especially like on social media, a lot of people have been putting their pronouns in their bio, which I think is really important, because it includes trans people in that as well. I really like that. I put my pronouns in my bio. I don't know about you, Gabby, but
not yet, but I will now.
You should do that.
I'm also very out of the loop, so I've been in my own little homework world. So.
Your own little homework, physics work.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on physics.
Oh god, girl, don't even. I was gonna say something and then, like, I forgot. Like,
no, you're totally fine.
Where are the things?
So how have you learned to gain confidence in yourself after everything that's happened?
It's taken a while for me to gain confidence in myself, but I really started getting confidence in myself by doing things that I've enjoyed. I used to be really, really insecure when I did dance. I wasn't ever, like, put in any good roles or anything like that, which was terrible, because I was actually kind of, like, I'm not gonna gas myself up and say I was the best dancer ever, but I wasn't terrible at it.
Yeah. Chloe's amazing, by the way. I'll gas you up. Chloe's amazing.
No.
Chloe was, like, our dance...
Zanita.
She was Zanita in The Music Man. She was, like, our dance captain for all of the dance numbers.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It looked amazing because we had Chloe as our captain, so...
So just go where your talents are, like... What's the word? Like, go where your talents are appreciated.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
My brain's
It's okay.
farting.
It's like it's
diarrhea.
9:30 a.m. You're totally fine.
Yeah. But gaining confidence in yourself, like, do things you love, you know, be around people that make you feel good. Wear clothes that make you feel good. I know it's really hard to say and to do, and it takes a while to gain confidence in yourself, but one of the things I did to gain confidence in myself is I stopped caring what other people think, and that took me a long, long time.
I'm still not there yet.
Exactly, but you know what you have to do? You have to constantly say in your head, can I say, you know, I'm not going to say a bad word, but I'm just going to, like, bleep it out. You have to say, I'm the baddest bee in the room. You just have to say that.
Yeah.
Constantly. In your head. And you know what? Part of the one thing, though, that you have to realize is you never want to be the smartest person in the room, though. You don't.
Yeah, because if you're not, it's good, because then you can learn from the people
Exactly. You want to be
who
around,
are better than you.
You want to be around people where you can learn, but you also want to be around people that you can have a comfort level with so that you can build yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And part of building yourself is, like, you have to get rid of people in your life that make you feel like crap. Like, sorry, can I say that?
Yeah.
You have to get rid of people that make you feel awful about yourself. And that's a very hard thing to do. I was around people last year that did not appreciate me and did not appreciate the person I am. And I got really down on myself and really insecure. And I lost a lot of confidence. And just recently, I started cutting them out of my life. And it wasn't, like, anything like, oh my god, I'm done with you, or anything like that. But, voice crack. It wasn't, like, anything like that. But I said, you know, I didn't say anything. I just kind of grew from them. I stopped texting them. I stopped talking to them. And I was kind of alone for a little bit. But when I was alone, I was able to learn more about myself and to spend more time, like, working out and, you know, getting myself together and, you know, learning and doing things for me.
Yeah, and I feel like alone time is really important. Like, it's viewed as a negative thing sometimes, but learning about yourself is really, really important. Like, I've learned a lot about myself over quarantine. I found out that I know how to paint things. Like, what? Yeah. I can paint rocks, which sounds really dumb, but...
It's so cute. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you. But I painted, like, a bunch of birds and the Brady Bunch logo and, like, the It Clown. It was, you know, I didn't even know I had that in me. But, yeah, you know, you find out things about yourself that you never knew. And, you know, most of the time, they're really cool things.
Yeah, I learned I could write. I didn't know that. I thought I hated writing, and I thought I hated English, but I do like writing, like, creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me more time to work on things, like, for school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I am now making a documentary series, which is crazy.
You didn't tell me about that.
I did tell you about it.
Oh, you did tell me about that. I'm gonna be on it.
This girl can't even keep her schedule straight.
I really can't.
You really need to do an episode on organization with your mom.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I also like to run, and running is a lot of fun. And I do pole vault for track whenever we get back to school.
I don't understand how pole vault works. I mean, I do, like, you run and you stick the stick in the ground and you, like, shoot up in the air, but, like, how do you, I don't have the muscle for that, so for me it doesn't make sense.
I don't know how it works either.
But so wait, you're telling me that you run and you stick the pole and then you jump and it works?
You just don't think. You just don't think and you just do it. Like,
that is a concept I don't think I'm ever gonna wrap my head around.
Well, it's part of, like, okay. Like, one thing is you have to be in uncomfortable situations to get comfortable.
That is very true.
Like, dude, I was scared out of my mind the first time I vaulted. Scared out of my mind. Little freshman me, like...
Did you do it successfully, though?
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of fails, though, with vaulting. Like, one time I fell into, like, this, like, metal part.
Oh, no.
And I was like, ouch.
Is that how you said it?
Yes.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah. Pole vaulting scares me. I saw, like, the platform thingy that you vault over when I was at a volleyball tournament. Not from our school. And I sat on the mat, and I was like, this thing doesn't make any sense to me. And I tried to imagine how it all worked.
Yeah, another thing with gaining confidence is, you have to, like, start doing, like, okay, and this is also self-love, like, you have to take time for yourself to do things, like, sometimes just taking a hot bath is it, like, it really does it,
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes dressing up, like, don't wear your sweatpants every day, even though we have online school, like, sometimes I, like, put on a nice shirt, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this today, like, I'm gonna rock this day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and, like, it's hard for me to dress up for school because I wear a uniform, but...
Disgusting.
No.
Honestly, I think we should all go to uniforms, to be honest, though.
Period. It makes life so easy.
And plus, bullying will go down so much. Like,
Yeah.
think about it. Like, ugh, you don't have Ugg boots on? Well, no, actually, we're all wearing the same shoes.
Or it's like, oh, you don't have the body for this?
Honestly, though, listening to podcasts has been great for me. Like, every time I drive somewhere, I listen to a podcast, and it makes me feel so, like, much better about driving. I had so much anxiety about driving, and then listening to other people talk while I drive is, like, great.
Right. It's like, you know, part of the reason I wanted to do a podcast is I'm like, I don't need people to, like, actually pay attention. I mean, obviously, I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying, because I feel like all of my episodes, I'm trying to make them really important. But, you know, if you listen to the podcast, it's just, like, background noise. That's what I do. Partially because I already know what they're about, but, like, I'll listen to the podcast while I'm, like, cleaning my room, or while I'm supposed to be doing homework, and it's, keyword supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
But, I don't know, it's great background noise. I love, like, the sound of people talking, which is really awkward.
Yeah. No,
but,
it's soothing. It's very soothing.
Yeah, like, it sounds really weird, but I like this, having, like, the sound of people's voices talking, even if it's not, like, to me specifically, so... Yeah. So what advice would you give someone who's struggling to love and support themselves, or love and accept themselves in any aspect?
Yeah, I can't talk about supporting yourself because I work a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Part-time, 2 days a week, guys. But honestly, speaking of that, getting a job is actually so, like, good, and it takes your mind off of other things, and you get paid to do it, like...
Yeah.
And working at a place that you, like, actually enjoy is so nice.
Yeah, and I feel like now, because school is happening in our homes, we have no place to, like, escape. Like, for me, I do school in my room, like, just sitting at my desk, so I feel like my escape, my safe haven used to be my room, but now it's like, this is where I do school, so I can't really relax here, if that makes sense. Like,
now your computer stares at you from across the room.
Right.
Like, oh my god, school!
Right, exactly. So I feel like if you get a job, then that automatically gives you a place that you can, like, escape to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but going back to loving and accepting yourself, that's very hard. It's a long, long journey to love and accept yourself, but slowly taking things in and slowly working on you and saying, like, okay, this is me, this is who I am, I'm not gonna let anyone change that, and really coming into yourself and knowing what you like and what you don't like about you. And I know it's really hard for me to sit here and say, I still haven't even fully accepted myself as a person,
Yeah.
and figuring out who you are it's such a long journey, and you don't have to rush it at all, but, like, you need to do things that make you happy, as I've said before. So, like, sometimes at the end of the day, I decide, like, okay, I'm done with homework. I can't do this anymore. I'm stressed out. I need to go do something else. So I'll go and I'll bake something.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. But I will. And also, trying to find a community of other people like you, it's very difficult. But, you know, now that we have things online, you can talk to people online. Just don't give away your information. Be careful about all that. You know, there's still stalkers and stuff around. But knowing that you don't need anyone else in your life to make you happy, and knowing that you can just be you and be okay with that, and getting to that point is hard, but you can get there. And everyone's journey is kind of different. You just need to talk to people that make you feel comfortable, and sometimes you need therapy. Therapy is really, really good, and you don't even need to have bad mental health to go to therapy, you know, to talk to someone about your problems that isn't going to judge you.
Right. Sometimes it's really nice to just have that friend there. that you know you can talk to about anything, especially like if you don't have a friend that you can do that with in your friend group. It's really great knowing that there's someone there.
Yeah, and you need to realize like who's really there for you and who's not. And even if you're in a situation where you can't get away from, you know, with your parents or with anyone in your family, you need to realize, okay, like, I need to kind of distance myself a little bit more from this person. Like, you still have to talk to them and all that, but just don't, like, you know, tell them as much. Like, I know that's terrible for me to say. It's honestly awful that someone would be like that and you would have to do that. But you need to realize, you know, where your boundaries are in your life.
Right. So, someone had asked, why is it okay for women to judge guys based off of their appearance, but not the other way around?
So, I feel like judging anybody for their appearance is awful. And, you know, I've seen recently, actually, Rihanna, for her Fenty line, Savage X Fenty or whatever the heck it is,
yeah.
She actually recently put plus-size male models on there where there's a lot of not as much representation. But
that's awesome.
We have seen throughout history men judging women for things that men shouldn't be judging women for. And men thinking that they have control of women when they really shouldn't. And I think it's not okay to judge anybody. I think women shouldn't judge men and men shouldn't judge women and, you know, vice versa. But I think there are things that, you know, that we should just keep our mouth shut on and not, you know, and not judge other people and, like, be kind to everybody. But I think there are some points where guys will say something that they think is, like, they think it's okay to say out loud, but it's really not. It's never okay to comment on someone's weight. It's never okay to comment on someone's height. It's never okay to comment on anything that someone cannot change. And I always go by the 3-second rule. The 3-second rule basically is, can someone change it in if someone can't change it in 3 seconds or less, don't say it out loud. Like if I were to say, Gabby, you have a piece of broccoli in between your teeth, that would be fine, because it's 3 seconds. But if I were to say, Gabby, wipe that birthmark off your face, that's not 3 seconds or less. I'm sorry,
right.
Gabby.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but I feel like it's human nature to look at someone and be like, oh, they're pretty, or oh, they're not my type. But it's not okay to be like, oh, that person is so, like, ugly. That's never a good thing to say, because that is so mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's so mean, because they can't really fix their appearance, especially, like, if they have acne, like your girl does, and it's all over their face because of stress and because of whatever else.
Hormones.
Yeah. Like, you know, you don't know what other people are going through. They're, like, I know there are people who are, like, burn victims, and they have scarring, and, you know, for someone who wouldn't have known that about them, you know, obviously they don't, like, look quote-unquote normal, but, you know, I said this when I did a thing with the birthmark community, like, normal and perfect, those two words are an illusion, and I know I've said this before, like, perfect and normal mean two different things to everyone else, and, you know, having scarring like that could be completely normal for them. Like, for me, having a birthmark is completely normal, but I know that someone who sees me on the street is going to be like, what is that? You know? So, like, never, I feel like being prejudiced, that's what it is. It's prejudice. Don't be prejudiced. Learn the story. If you care enough, if you really want to, like, say something about it, get to know their story. That's the important thing. And
ask it in a nice and respectful way. And also the person that's being asked has to, like, realize, like, people are gonna realize this about you. People are going to, like, they're gonna ask you, so you're gonna have to tell it a few times. Don't get annoyed. They're just asking. If they're asking in a polite way, you know, just be polite back, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that I've had to learn with my birthmark, because I've grown up being asked, what is that? You know, my mom used to be accused of being a bad parent, because people in, like, the grocery store used to think that she didn't put sunscreen on me, and that as an infant I got that much sunburn on my face.
Yeah, only on half of your face you got sunburn. Like,
yeah.
What?
But people would tell my mom that she's not doing a good job because they thought something completely different than the truth. But if they actually cared enough to find out, then they would know that this is a birthmark. I was born with it. Mom had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, and going back to the gay community, like, I know there's a lot of masculine and stud lesbians that look a little bit like guys, and there's, like, some, you know, feminine presenting gay guys, and, you know, you can be feminine or masculine presenting at any gender. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. But, you know, if someone asks you, just be polite back. You don't get mad, because I know there are a lot of people that get mad about that. Like, why would you get mad? Like, they're just wondering, like, they're just being curious, and it's human nature to be curious. But if you have curiosities, just ask politely. Don't be like, oh my god, what is that? Like,
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a lot easier for the person you're asking to not get upset if you ask in a polite way. So, like, if someone comes up to me and they're like, oh, what is that? I'm going to be caught off guard, but I'm going to, like, I understand why they're asking, because obviously they don't know what it is. So I'm going to be like, okay, this is what it is. But if someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, I saw you from, like, across the room or whatever, and I just wanted to, like, and I was intrigued or something like that, and I was just wondering what your situation was. Obviously, I'm going to be like, oh, well, here's the thing.
Here's the tea,
Here's the tea, sis. But I feel like there's a better way to ask than how people are asking, and there's a better way to answer than how people are answering.
Yeah, and also know your situation. Know the situation you are in. Like, if you're in the grocery store and someone's just trying to get their groceries and go home, like, why would you even care enough? You're just trying to get your groceries and go home too. Like, relax. But if you're, like, at a party and you're, like, talking to the person, like, just ask them. Like, just be polite. Just ask.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also totally normal for you to say, I don't feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
And if that's the case, then the other people who asked you need to respect that. It's all about respect. It's about perspective. You know what I mean? Like, just be good people. It's really not hard.
That's all you have to do, is you just have to be, like, all I'm saying is, in this episode, the moral of the story is you gotta be respectful, you've gotta, understand other people's perspective, and you have to just care for yourself and understand who you are, and know what your boundaries are as a person.
And I think that about wraps it up. I typically leave them with a good word.
Nice.
And I think you just did.
Sorry for me rambling for 40 minutes, guys.
No, it's okay. I think this was a very great episode. If you guys have any questions or any follow-up, anything like that, make sure you check out my Instagram. I will link Chloe in the description of this podcast episode, as well as on the podcast Instagram. So make sure you guys check that out.
And I'm coming out with a series about job opportunities in agriculture with job opportunities in agriculture, and I'm calling it Let's Cluck About Chicken, because we're following from farm to table the process of making your chicken sandwich.
I'm going to be on it, and I'm going to make chicken parm and talk about music. It's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, we're
I'm very excited to eat food.
Yummy.
That's why I'm doing it. No, it's not. That's not.
No, I forced Gabby.
Yeah,
I kidnapped her.
It wasn't a choice for me.
No choice.
But yeah, I am so thankful for all of you. I love you all, no matter what shape or color or gender or whatever.
Whatever you are.
Whatever. I love all of you for who you are. You
love everyone and love yourself. Thank you.
Period. I love all of you for being yourselves. And if you ever need someone to talk to, my DMs are always open, and you guys know that.
Yeah, and same for me.
Yes. So I think that about wraps it up. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Chloe, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or
morning or wherever you
whatever.
are.
I love you. Bye, guys.